Go that
We
way.
don't have a topic today.
All right, thank you. All right, I'd like to go ahead and call the Tuesday, August 2nd, 2016 Warrenton Board of Aldermen meeting to an open session. If you would, please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on the agenda would be the consent agenda.
The first item is the regular meeting minutes from July 19th, 2016. Executive session minutes from July 19th, 2016. C is approval to hire Elizabeth Fry at $12 an hour as a full-time animal control officer with a start date of August the 1st, 2016. D, approval to hire James Bulkley at $17.23 an hour as a police officer with a start date of August 1st, 2016. E, approval to promote Rich Black to sergeant. F is approval to promote Andrew Sitton to detective at $19.30 an hour. And G is approval to hire Zachary Miller at $14 an hour as a full-time grounds and maintenance laborer with a start date of August the 8th, 2016.
Any questions or comments?
The only question I had is we don't have a salary on Rich Black. Is that?
The lateral.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderperson Casterly, seconded by Alderman Delloy. Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Miller?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz is absent. Alderman Shell Harvey?
Yes.
Alderperson Casterly?
Yes.
Alderman Ock?
Yes.
Alderman Deloy.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0 with one absent. Next item on the agenda will be hearing from the public. We ask that you come up to the podium, state your name, and we will keep you at a 5-minute maximum. Not seeing anyone, we'll move on. Next item will be hearing from the Board of Aldermen.
Yes, I'd like to bring up a topic that we can put on future agenda possibly. One of the aldermen texted me over the weekend and said I had one of the trashiest wards in town. And I have to concur. We need to fix the problem of people who lease homes dumping the content of the home in their front yard. If you go to 300 block of McKinley right now, there's a home that has piles and piles of trashing there, probably for 2 weeks now. And we need to be able to come up with a mechanism to deal with that quickly, because I can guarantee you, if this happened in Florissant or this happened in any city in St. Louis County, that trash pile would be gone. But it's still sitting there. It's been rained on numerous times. There's furniture there. There's everything else. And it's really intolerable, because people in that block have invested in homes and they have to put up with that all the time. And somehow we need to figure out a way to deal with that, because what we're doing now is simply not acceptable.
I'd like to second that, and I'd like to request, as we bring that up as a discussion topic, that we get information from other cities regionally to find out what other cities do to control landlord responsibility within the city.
Because the reality is, most of the complaints I get about property related to landlords. It's not related to the homeowner itself. Most of it's related to landlords who simply feel like, in my opinion, they can collect the rent, but they don't have to put an investment back in the property. And when you own property, whether it's your own house or for business purposes, part of what you have to do is reinvest in that property. And we're not getting that in town. And this, I mean, to me, this situation we have on the 300 block McKinley is just deplorable. You know, they finally came by and put everything in the trash containers, or trash bags, I guess, assuming that the trash company was going to haul away 3 TVs, haul away sofas and everything else, and they're simply not going to do it. So I don't know how long it's going to sit there before we can get an action on it. I don't know if we should stiffen fines. I don't know if we should pick up the stuff ourselves and then build like crazy, or whatever the solution is. We need to find a solution.
Yeah, I remember, if you remember, Terry, I sent you an email about that as soon, because my dad brought it to my attention coming home from church one day. It was all of a sudden out there. And for the most part, you know, I've seen other situations like this take place, but it seems like, I know there was a couple of places on 47 where it happened, but the landlord or whoever got a dumpster there, it seemed like pretty quick, and took care of it themselves. It's just that I guess there are some landlords that don't. So we don't, I don't want to criticize everybody in town, but there are some that are, like Gary said, they collect rent and that's the end of their responsibility.
No, I think we need to look at the way that we have it set up for code violations. And, I know there's only so much we can do because our city attorney reminds me all the time that they're entitled to due process. So there has to be a certain notice period, but maybe there's something we can do to shorten some of those or.
There needs to be something on
Well,
that.
why don't we just post it on Facebook and let's all get together. We all have an agreement on this,
Yeah.
cleaning up the town. Rather than, I don't know what we can do, what we can't do other than chase people with fines and so on and so forth.
Well,
That's not always the best answer.
There's a couple of things. We've got some tools in our box. Unfortunately, with kind of the general climate down in Jeff City right now, there's a new legislation that goes into effect August 28th, SB 572, that will affect some of our ability to control nuisances within the city limits. It lowers the maximum fine that you can levy on somebody from $500 to $225, including court costs, so it's a maximum fine of $200. Now, that's not a huge problem because every day is a violation. You can write repeated violations. I think one of the things that we have right now in our system set up is we really have one avenue to pursue property violation claims when there are provisions for emergency situations, like where the entire contents of a house is out in the front yard. So I think what we can do is, since there are some of these properties, we can go back and we can work with Jack and code compliance to say, hey, we need to identify the more immediate health and safety threats, like someone whose furniture is out there, where it could cause issues, that we can take quicker action than just what our standard procedure is. Because there's been a lot of criticisms of municipalities, kind of I'm sure you guys have seen the articles in the Post-Dispatch, like people are getting fined for not having curtains and whatnot. So what kind of happened in North St. Louis County, or was said happened in North St. Louis County with code issues, made the state legislature really strip some of those powers away from cities, but there are still emergency powers. And I think that, Alderman Ock, is what we have to do, is have kind of two tracks, parallel tracks, to address kind of weeds that are, kind of growing up slowly but over the line, where you want to give somebody some more time, but in an immediate situation we can address it. And I think that's something we can fairly easily talk to Jack
Well,
about
I'd
and work with
recommend,
him.
because this is just in the Alderman comments, let's make sure this is on for the next meeting, to have a full discussion of all options and bring that to the board.
Because we have a home at the end of Steinhagen and the old Highway 47 that's had junk piled on their porch for 2 years now. And I realize it's zoned in the commercial area, it's a home in the commercial area, but it's literally junk sitting on the home. And it just makes the neighborhood look horrible.
Well, let's just put our heads together and figure out the best way without creating more ordinances and more fines and so on and so forth, but getting it cleaned up. Sometimes just exposing it to the public.
Yeah.
Sometimes that will work.
Yeah.
I have a different comment. Thank you. Is everybody down on this comment? Okay.
Well, if we're talking about cleaning up, can I make one more comment?
Clean it up.
I look at the, every time I drive between Missouri Bank and Ashland Avenue, the height of the weeds and everything there going over the bridge. And I think it's been brought up, I don't know if we've ever found out if we can mow it, if MoDOT has to mow it, but I'm to the point where let's get it straightened out real quick, because I have a problem telling Joe Smith, who has a vacant lot and his weeds are 2 feet tall, I have a problem telling him that he needs to mow his grass, get that lot cleaned up, when we've got that looking like that at the railroad bridge here. And I don't know, like I say, I think if it's been checked out, and we need to find out if it's MoDOT's responsibility or ours. But if we can, let's just go ahead and mow it and be done with it, because it looks like bad, I think.
And we can bail and sell it.
Is that what you were going to say?
I agree. I mean, it's been an eyesore for a couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to claim the property, nobody.
There's no doubt, looking at the agreement, that it's MoDOT's responsibility.
But they've deflected it, so it's not.
Right. But unfortunately, when you look at the agreements, it's pretty clear.
I have something on a positive note.
There we go.
There we go. I was leaving my my neighborhood last week at about 6:30 in the morning, and I just want to compliment the neighbors that go out of their way to take care of our community and do make a difference. 6:30 in the morning, Mr. Gregory, and I don't know if he'll watch this or not, but was out weed whacking along our sidewalk up and down Highway 47 to make it look nice and clean it up. So it's that kind of participation in our community I would like to encourage, and I was really kind of shocked but grateful that he was doing it.
Good for him.
Good.
Any other comments or things? All right. I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. I just want to applaud and say thank you to all the city employees that have helped us on the effort of the Proposition OP that's up for vote tonight. Regardless of what you think or regardless of what your opinion is, we as a board and as well as city employees have worked very hard to get the correct information out there, and it may sound like an easy task, but it's not. So from me to anyone who's here, thank you, and especially to the board, thank you for your efforts. All right. Next item on the agenda, we'll be hearing from the Director of Operations and Finance Officer, Terry Thorne.
My first item for you this evening is the results of the Tourism Commission meeting that was held on July 28th. You have a list of the items that they recommended for Relax-In and China House Buffet, $600 each. This is partial reimbursement for their interstate attraction signs. For the City of Warrenton, $2,000 for the citywide yard sale. For the City of Warrenton, $80,000 for the Fall Festival for 2016. For the City of Warrenton, $15,000 for advertising for Fall Fest. For the City of Warrenton, $2,800 for the circus in the fall. And for the City of Warrenton, $19,000 for Hometown Christmas. And a very positive note from the meeting on July 28th, they are moving Hometown Christmas to Saturday afternoon.
Oh,
And the parade and everything will then be on Saturday instead of on the same night that Jonesburg has their big
That's
parade.
fabulous.
So kudos to them
That is fabulous.
for doing that.
Yes.
And yeah, my comments on that, being the council's rep on the Tourism Commission, Melissa from Madame Voodoo's was the one that she is in the with the Warrenton Downtown Association now, and I think she was a very big part of convincing them. She obviously made a lot better arguments than I did, because I know I've talked to them for the last several years trying to get that accomplished and couldn't do it. So I think we can applaud her efforts, and again, and thank the Warrenton Downtown Association for having the vision to go ahead and make the changes, and we all think it'll be a very, very positive for the whole city, very positive move. So again, thanks to Melissa and thanks to the Warrenton Downtown Association.
So total of all of those budgeted items is $120,000.
Any questions or comments? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the tourism recommendations in the amount of $120,000.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Miller, seconded by Alderman Shell Harvey. Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Shell Harvey?
Yes.
Alderperson Kessler?
Yes.
Alderman Ock?
Yes.
Alderman Deloy,
Yes.
Alderman Miller?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0 with one absent.
And then a couple of notes for you. Newsletter articles are due to Dolores by August the 15th for the fall and winter newsletter that she's working on now. We are working diligently to get the new website up, and she would like to include on the website where all of your pictures will be short bios for each of you. So if you don't know what to include in that, give us a call. We'll help you put that together, but she'd like something short that can be put into the new website when that is rolled out. Also, more for the public than you, The Walton Street parking lot is now city property. We closed on that, I guess it's been a couple weeks ago now. So there is public parking available downtown on the lot that would be behind Dr. Brent's office, is now a city parking lot. Also, the Bruni lot for the access to Binkley Park, that contract has been signed and it is at the title company. Should close within the next couple of weeks as soon as they get the work done on that. So that deal will be finalized as well, allowing additional
Good
parking.
news today.
Full of good news. Other than that, that's all I have for you.
Bats, you forgot the bats.
For those of you who have not heard, they did not find at the new park area any of the protected species of bats.
That's great.
They did find some bats, but they were not protected bats. So it was not necessary to follow them for 7 days and track their migration. So the report has been finalized and is now sent into Fish and Wildlife, awaiting our permit to start the clearing of the property. So it will be moving forward.
Quick question, what was the date the articles are due for the city newsletter?
August 15th.
15th. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank
Any other
you.
questions or comments? All right, thank you. All right, next on the agenda, be hearing from our Economic Development Director, Michelle Swindle.
Good evening. I have for you my economic development update. Something I'd like to notice, for you to notice, is we had a real estate agent from out of town come in. I drove him around, showed him some different locations. He has a large retailer who's interested in the city of Warrenton, and we spent about an hour driving around the community so he could find some locations, and he is requesting additional information on those, so that's a good thing. And I'm still working with a real estate agent and a business that I met at Recon in Las Vegas in reference to them wanting to be in Warrenton, and so they're running numbers, and hopefully we'll be able to get them here as well.
Excellent. Any questions or comments? All right. Thank you. Next, we'll be hearing from Finance Manager Gabrielle Curry.
Good evening. The first item I have is the accounts payable for the month of June. These are the ones that didn't make it on the previous month's list. The total for those is $80,432.03.
Any questions or comments? Questions or comments? All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the accounts payable for June 2016, the amount of $80,432.03.
Second. I'll make a motion. And I'll second it.
I'll second.
Motion and second. No. Motion made by Alderman Ock, seconded by Alderman Deloy. Roll call vote, please.
Alderperson Casterly?
Yes.
Alderman Ock?
Yes.
Alderman Deloy,
Yes.
Alderman Miller?
Yes.
Alderman Shell Harvey.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0 with one absent.
The next item is the accounts payable for July. I'm requesting approval for $504,385.34.
Any questions on this one? Comments?
No questions.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the accounts payable for July 2016 in the amount of $504,385.34.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Miller, seconded by Alderman Shell Harvey. Take a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Ock?
Yes.
Alderman Deloy,
Yes.
Alderman Miller?
Yes.
Alderman Shell Harvey.
Yes.
Alderperson Casterly?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0 with one absent.
And the last item I have is a partial financial report. Since this is for June, we still have accruals and everything that are going to take place as part of the audit. So the only part I gave you was like the bank statements and revenue, capital, which on the revenue, we're showing 5% for the year, but we still have some accruals that need to take place. So those aren't exactly complete numbers either. Do you guys have any questions about any of those things?
So we actually know the sales tax and the 5% ahead of budget on sales tax collections, is that correct?
Yes, but we still have like July and August that we accrue back. We
Okay.
adjust that number as part of accrual, so. that's not a final number.
Okay. So when do the auditors come in?
They are coming in September.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Thank you. Next item on the agenda would be bills or ordinances. I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 31-16.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Miller, second by Alderman Shaw.
An ordinance authorizing execution of a contract with Graville Law Firm LLC in the city of Warrenton, Missouri for legal services.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading and passage of bill number 31-16.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderman Deloy, second by Alderman Miller.
An ordinance authorizing execution of a contract with the Graville Law Firm LLC in the city of Warrenton, Missouri for legal services.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Deloy,
Yes.
Alderman Miller,
Yes.
Alderman Shell Harvey,
Yes.
Alderperson Casterly,
Yes.
Alderman Ock.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0 with one absent. Or bill. I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 32-16.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Deloy, seconded by Alderman Shell Harvey.
An ordinance of the city of Warrenton, Missouri, the city authorizing condemnation of certain interest in real property located in the city for the purpose of securing temporary construction and permanent easements necessary for the construction and improvement of the city's waterworks and sewage system.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading and passage of bill number 32-16.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Miller, seconded by Alderman Shell Harvey.
An ordinance of the city of Warrenton, Missouri, the city authorizing condemnation of certain interest in real property located in the city for the purpose of securing temporary construction and permanent easements necessary for the construction and improvements of the city's waterworks and sewerage system.
Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Miller,
Yes.
Alderman Shell Harvey,
Yes.
Alderperson Casterly,
Yes.
Alderman Ock,
Yes.
Alderman Deloy.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0 with one absent. I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 33-16.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Miller, seconded by Alderman Shell Harvey.
An ordinance of the city of Warrenton, Missouri, the city authorizing condemnation of certain interest in real property located in the city for the purpose of securing temporary construction and permanent easements necessary for the construction and improvement of the city's waterworks and sewage system.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading and passage of bill number 33-16.
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Deloy, seconded by Alderperson Casterly.
An ordinance of the city of Warrenton, Missouri, the city authorizing condemnation of certain interest in real property located in the city for the purpose of securing temporary construction and permanent easements necessary for the construction and improvement of the city's waterworks and sewage system.
Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Shell Harvey,
Yes.
Alderperson Casterly,
Yes.
Alderman Ock,
Alderman Ock.
Yes.
Alderman Deloy,
Yes.
Alderman Miller.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0 with one absent. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
None too soon. Make a motion for adjournment.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Ock, seconded by Alderperson Casterly. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 We are so adjourned.